Hi, I'm Eric Alexander, and this is Solo Notes. Tonight we're featuring Deltona resident and international saxophone player Warren Stevens Jr. Welcome back to Solo Notes. Warren, that was a lot of fun. I appreciate that playing with you again, buddy. That was a little bit of blue bossa. It took us back to the old school jazz. And yeah, so how long you've been playing for quite some time now? Yes. When did you get started playing saxophone?
12 years old.
12 years old.
In junior high school.
Yeah.
7th grade, back in Brooklyn, in a neighborhood called Bushwick.
Right, in school. So you played school, and that took you on. So you went through your playing in bands at school, and then now when did you start kind of branching out and getting in? When do you think it started hitting you to play the more pop stuff and that?
Oh, well, like 19 years old, high school, and we used to have a band together in high school. A bunch of us young cats, we got together, and we decided we want to put a band together, and we had an advisor named Mr. Luther Bryant. And that's when I was living in South Carolina. And then I left South Carolina after high school, went back to New York, and got with my old musicians back in Brooklyn. And by then I was experienced, a little experienced. And then I got a band together, and we decided to build a band, a professional band. And the band was called Eternity. And that started in 1994.
You told me some story about you playing on the streets.
Oh yes, in Soho, in the Village.
Oh yeah. So the whole band?
No, just three pieces.
3 pieces back then. And something happened to you back then too. You were on a corner playing, and what happened? And
we was on the corner playing in Soho, and we call them yuppies, and I guess they didn't want to hear us playing in front of their apartment, and they threw water down on us.
Really? From up above?
From up above.
Down to so it mess up your instruments or anything?
No. It just we didn't get wet, but we moved out the way. We moved to another spot.
Yeah. And now you were playing on the corners at another time, and somebody heard you and asked you to come do a gig. What was that about? Tell me about that.
Well, that spot that the water got poured on us, we decided to find another spot, and we sat up and we started playing, and then some people that came by and they asked us, would y'all like to go to France?
Really? France?
Yes.
Out of the blue?
Out of the blue. And we said, of course, why not? And a few weeks later, we was off to France.
Is that right? Just the 3 of you?
Just the 3 of us, a drummer and 2 saxophones.
And what'd you do over there?
We did a cocktail for 1 hour.
That's it? They took you all the way to France for a 1 hour gig?
1 hour gig.
That's quite an adventure for 3 young men.
It sure was. It was a big adventure.
Really? And then, then you came back to New York?
And we came back to New York, and then I played from bars and little nightclubs and stuff like that. And then we decided to get, as I said before, we decided to get a band together called Eternity.
Okay.
And Eternity blew up pretty well. Quincy Jones came and heard us because he heard about us because he needed a band to go to Italy. And so we thought it was a rumor at first. And we used to play at this supper club called Lola on 22nd Street and 5th Avenue. And we came to do the gig, and who was in the dining room? Quincy Jones.
Really?
Yes.
The great Quincy Jones.
The great Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
And so we went and met him, and he liked our trumpet player. He said our trumpet player reminded him of a young Dizzy Gillespie.
Oh, wow. He must have been good.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. And so he listened to us while he was eating. We took pictures with him. And about a month or so later, we was off to Italy.
Is that right? All expense paid again?
All expenses paid again.
Now, that was a bigger band. How many people were in that band?
11.
11 people?
11 people.
So you had a full horn section then?
Yeah, we just had 2 horn sections. Two hornmen, trumpet and saxophone.
Oh, okay.
But then we hired a trombonist to go with us. His name is Vincent Gardner. He plays for the Lincoln Jazz nowadays.
Really? Yeah.
With Wynton Marsalis and those big guys.
So you went to Italy on Quincy Jones' recommendation, right?
Yes, well, he had to approve us to go.
Is that right? And then you played, what was the gig that you played over there?
It was a wedding.
Yeah, and it was a pretty big wedding, wasn't it?
Yes,
Who was the person getting married?
Courtney Ross. She was this widow of the CEO of Time Warner.
Really? Goodness.
and she decided to marry this guy from Switzerland, and they got married in Florence, Italy.
Well, so how did they find out about you? Just, I mean, from...
I think an executive, he used to come to the supper club where we played at Lola, and he heard us and he liked us. He used to always come there, and I guess he knew Courtney Ross, and then that's how the connection came together.
And they, of course, being Time Warner folks, knew Quincy.
Right.
And and she wanted his approval or something? Wanted you...
Yeah, she wanted Quincy's approval.
Say, tell me this band is good and we'll pay for them to come over there.
Because she didn't even come to listen.
Is that right?
No,
Oh, and this was her wedding.
It was her wedding.
Yeah. Well, that must have been quite an adventure.
Oh, yeah, it was a real adventure.
Yeah. So when did you end up coming to Florida?
In 2006.
Oh, really? Okay. So that wasn't that long ago. Then.
That wasn't that long ago, no.
But were you working up in New York as full-time musician, or did you have another job?
Well, I was teaching school.
Like several of us do.
Yeah. Well, I was teaching school and musician part-time.
Is that right? Teaching school, great. Teaching music?
No.
Yeah?
Math.
Is that right? You were teaching math. Wow. Well, that's, I know a lot of folks talk about how music is very mathematical.
It is.
And I mean, I believe that as a piano player also. So, well, that's terrific. Well, let's do another song, if you will. You and I, what do you want to do? Let's do
Girl from Ipanema.
Let's do Girl from Ipanema. It'd be a pleasure to play with you again.
All right.
All right. This is Solo Notes. Welcome back to Solo Notes, and I'm here with Warren Stevens Jr., a saxophone extraordinaire. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for, again, always glad to play with you. Now, you and I had originally met doing a church gig, didn't we? And they had you in the back corner, and when I started directing the music, I discovered Warren's talents, and we started pulling you out front doing solos and such.
right.
And now you, I know you've done you've got a huge resume, a wealth of other songs. What is maybe the most memorable gig? Do you have one that you can think of?
It was Time Magazine 75th anniversary.
Wow.
And that was held at Radio City Music Hall. And special guest was Hillary Clinton and President Clinton.
Okay.
And they were both special guests. And they had other big celebrities there, like what's the man name now? Oh boy, Muhammad Ali, he was there.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Cruise, he was there. A lot of other celebrities.
Yeah, that's a big event.
And they converted the whole Radio City Hall into like a dance club, to a dance floor. What they did, they covered the chairs, and they made a floor over the chairs, and they had about 100 tables, formatted on the floor. And so when you came into Radio City Music Hall into the auditorium part, you had to walk up because they covered the chairs with a floor.
Oh, is that right? Okay, that sounds interesting.
Very interesting. And I was with the band Eternity. That was my heart back then, and they taught me a lot.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, you all were about the same age when you started that group, so weren't you?
Yeah, we was now like 39, 40, 41.
Oh, okay. All right. So, well, that sounds like a very interesting gig.
And it was very good.
And you just how did you get to meet some of these folks?
Well, we couldn't meet the president, but he was about 7 feet away from us.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then Tom Cruise, we got to meet Tom Cruise and Gorbachev. That's the name. The Prime Minister.
Gorbachev, the Russian
Prime Minister.
Yeah,
and he was there.
He was there also.
He was there also. With a lot of, I think what they did, all the celebrities who were on the cover of of Time Magazine.
Right.
They were guests. They were special guests.
Wow, that's
all
a
the ones
lot.
that were still living.
Yeah, those are some big celebrities then
Yes.
with that magazine. Wow, what an exciting gig.
Yeah, very
making
exciting.
money.
Yeah, you made good money off it. Yeah, it was good money. You made good
As
money.
we are with musicians, they never want to pay.
We got paid.
No, I imagine you would for a gig like that. That's pretty exciting. Then, and anything else that you can think of that you've done, and that's you've just been playing for a long time and all kinds of gigs. And
I did this was a special one where I really liked this gig. It was a commercial geared for the young kids and the young adults in Japan, and the title of the commercial was called "Don't Give Up on Your Dream."
Wow!
And they flew a crew from Japan to New York to shoot the commercial, and I had to audition for the part, and I made it. I made
Terrific!
it.
Yeah.
One of my friends, his name was Kenton Nix, and he wrote a few hit tunes that was out. I don't know if you know of them, called Heartbeat, and he wrote that tune. And he asked me, he said, "Warren, can you play jazz?" I said, "Well, I'm not a jazz man, but I can play it." And he gave me the address to go to the agency to audition. And I passed the audition pretty good. And then my drummer from the band I was playing with at the time, Eternity, he auditioned also, and he got the gig also.
Wow, that's great.
And so,
terrific.
And
so you knew somebody at least involved in it, and yeah. So you guys did it together, and
Yes.
you could be playing. Commercial was playing over in Japan.
Yes.
So.
Well, the commercial was about this young jazz musician. He was a saxophonist, and he was studying jazz, and he couldn't get the hang of playing jazz, reading the stills. He was learning how to read music also at the same time and studying jazz. And so he gave up. He just took his music staff, and threw it on the ground. And my job was to reach down, pick up the staff, and hand it back to him and tell him, don't give up on your dream.
Wow,
we
that's
was
pretty neat.
because we was experienced jazz musicians.
Right.
We playing a part of experienced jazz musicians.
So you're an actor too.
Yeah.
That's great. Didn't have to get an a cap car, or what do they call it? The
ASCAP and all that. BMI.
well, that's the recording,
Yeah,
right?
recording that, yeah.
But the acting
I
card, that ever get what it is either. But that's pretty exciting. That must have been a fun thing to do. Yeah. Well, you have done an awful lot of neat things. Done a lot of travel.
A lot of travel.
That's why I said international artist here.
International artist, yes.
In France and Italy and Japan now. That's
Bahamas,
exciting.
Bermuda, Puerto Rico, Mexico.
But so now technically you tell me you're retired and all you're doing is just playing music.
Yes.
So
That's what I always wanted to do. I finally got the chance to do it.
that's terrific. And I know you get a lot of calls from folks.
A lot of calls.
To do it too. Well, it's been exciting to have you on here. I guess we've known each other now just a few years.
Just a few years now.
And I know I hope to get more chance to play with you here in the future. If there's you got any other great ambitions, anybody now that you're just gonna play around here, around Central Florida while you can? And
Well, I'm planning on to try to get some more connections so I can travel some more.
yeah.
I'm gonna go back to that.
Yeah, well, this is a great market to do that in, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Central
is.
Florida,
It
there's
is. It's growing.
a lot of great opportunities. But well, we're gonna take this out. Let's with another song with you. I think I appreciate everyone tuning in to Solo Notes here on Deltona TV, and I want to make sure that you know that you can find Solo Notes on local Bright House channel 491, also on AT&T Uverse, under the government channel listings, and on the web at deltonafl.gov. So look for us here. This is Eric Alexander. I'm with Warren Stevens Jr., international saxophonist extraordinaire. And thank you again. Tune in next time. This is Solo Notes. Thank you.